I'm obviously here to give the perspective from an entrepreneur, just, probably not too many in here, I'm guessing, on the for-profit side. We started Dishjoy 3 years ago, and the idea again is to replace disposable dishware everywhere, every day, starting with densely populated areas such as stadiums or corporate offices or that kind of thing. Residential buildings even could work, right? Now the thing is, the vision's kind of ambitious, but there are some reasons why you would want to go big or go home on this, kind of as Jack Macy put it, regarding start big. And the one main reason is because disposables are really problematic, right? Or let's say real dishes are better for 3 reasons, right? Human health, right? The chemicals we talked about, environmental, and then it's just a better experience to eat off of a real dish, right? Rather than a disposable. I think everybody would agree with that. There's 2 barriers I see to the ubiquitous adoption of citywide shared dishwashing programs, and that's pricing and convenience. So if you can make it what we've done in our office service is we've made it as convenient to use disposables. It's convenient to use real dishware as disposables. So just like there's a 4th trash can, that's it. That's for Dishjoy receptacle, right? Like, you put your real dish in there, and then it gets picked up and swapped out set for a set every night. Kind of like a linen or uniform service, right? The cost structure is a little bit different, I'm finding, than some of the information that you had put out. For us, it's more expensive than disposables, but the idea is, it's not much more, and so hopefully from a policy perspective, we can figure out a way to either subsidize that difference or provide them with lead points. I'm talking to facilities managers and office managers for commercial buildings, right? That's the kind of stuff that's important to them. So I also have to let you guys know that there's a lot of startups out there that, not a lot, honestly, there's actually really a handful in the world right now at this moment, but they exist and they are trying to do reuse programs. And as far as I know, we're the only ones in the US that's as far ahead as we are. So it's kind of a shame in a way that this is not a bigger thing yet, but I think it's coming. And I tell my investors, I say, trash is going to be one of the next big areas to invest in. So pricing-wise, like I said, there seems to be a little bit of a gap, and we want to make that gap up. And so my whole goal is, again, to create the conditions for ubiquitous adoption. So I've started conversations with Uber Eats, DoorDash, et cetera, to tackle that. Possibly, obviously we're doing office buildings, obviously we're trying to talk about residential buildings and stadiums and one-time events, right? The point is, the common denominator is the machinery in all of that, and I think the real solution is horizontal integration, not necessarily vertical, right? Horizontal, where the same machine and the same dishes are being used for a variety of use cases. That's the greenest thing to do. It requires everybody to work together and different players to take different parts of the pie. I think someone in Germany is doing this, or some small city in Germany is doing something like this. I mean, we've done some research, right? All of us have disparate research here, and I think a roundtable is justified as one of maybe the follow-ups for key players who are really interested in this to come together and really nail it down and see how we can become a model for the world. There is this reuse revolution supposedly coming, so why not have the Bay Area become the first to really do something serious with us on a governmental basis? Companies, we're talking to Microsoft right now about doing this for their offices, Microsoft's part of the Ellen MacArthur Foundation, Circular Economic Principles, right? A lot of these companies do have in their sustainability statements, things that you can leverage with them to say, hey, let's make this happen for you. The main thing, though, again, is from a business perspective, you have to make it easy for people to do the right thing, right? You all want people to do the right thing. I'm saying you have to make it easy for them, so that means you got to adjust the cost and the convenience. Those are the 2 things. Otherwise, I think it'll just kind of naturally happen. Straws is a great example. I just wanted to mention the straws thing. Yeah, as you mentioned, there's no straw washing machine out there really. There isn't, right? Yeah, there isn't. So there's no commercial straw washing machine. So that's what's missing in the conversations. Is I would love to, know that if I were to get me and my investors to develop a straw washing machine, that it would be used, right? So I mean, like, it's kind of a chicken or egg thing a little bit. So the support, I would love to meet with everyone in this room at some point, during the next year, and let's talk about how we can partner up to make this happen. And that's pretty much it. I think I wanted to leave more time for any questions or anything. But scalability is really important, and and I think we figured out a formula for it to work, and that formula is the horizontal integration and addressing the two pricing and convenience issues.
Can you give a 1-minute pitch on what Dishjoy is for those who are not?
Yeah, I mean, so for now, what we're doing anyway is for offices, but we're expanding right now to any other context as well in real time. We're providing real dishes. We're delivering. And people ask, oh, well, you're using more water to wash than disposables. Of course, I don't think anybody in the room has these questions here, right? Because you know that disposables use way more water, right, than the use of a dish washed via a commercial machine, and chemicals and all these other issues with it, right? The truck, it's on a truck, twice, once back and once forth, versus maybe 8 to 10 times in a linear disposables life cycle, right? And then I'm thinking about ways, kind of like your model, to say, get rid of the truck delivery altogether by locating the machines on site and having buildings share. And I would send my dishwashers to the building, swap out a set for a set every night. And again, and then on the weekends, when the offices aren't using the machine, then the one-time events could be using the machine or the dishes. So that's really the greenest thing. I think the way to go is the do reuse. It's ambitious. I for one, I'm super happy to take this on. Anybody want to join? Let's do it. Thank you.